okay, are the alternative units of volume. Okay. So what do these alternative units of volume entail? Well, in everyday life we've seen that we've already been using liters, right? Now we're going to talk about, let's say you have a box, and let's say that's a cube, and now we're going to see if I know how to still draw a cube after all this time. There's my cube. Oops, that cube is not looking very good. Okay. Okay, there's my cube, right? Okay, so anyway, my cube doesn't look that great, but nevertheless, let's say we have a cube whose length is 1 meter and whose breadth is also 1 meter and whose height is also 1 meter. Then the volume, which is equal to length, and this is an important formula, multiplied by breadth multiplied by height, is equal to 1 meter multiplied by 1 meter multiplied by 1 meter. And that's going to give me 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and meter times meter times meter is equal to meters cubed. Okay, so now we're going to talk about looking at units in which we speak of cubic dimensions, right? And that's important to remember, because if you have something where the measurement of volume is shown to be cubed, right, or then you know that we're speaking about volume. Okay, so let's look at examples of that. Let's start with millimeters, right? And then you know we get centimeters, and then you know we get meters, and then you know we get kilometers. Okay, so I'm talking about volume first before I actually speak about area. And so this is going to be cubed, that's going to be cubed, that's going to be cubed, and that's going to be cubed. And let's look at converting between kilometers cubed to meters cubed, right? So you've previously seen that we can go and when I go from a larger unit to a smaller unit, I can multiply. So the same thing is going to be here. I'm going to multiply by 1,000, but I'm not just going to multiply by 1,000, I'm going to multiply by 1,000 cubed. And from meters cubed to centimeters cubed, I multiply by 100 cubed. Okay? And from centimeters cubed to millimeters cubed, I multiply by 10 cubed. Now that's very important, because if I have 10 cubed, you must know that that's not the same as 10. That's actually 10 times 10 times 10. 100 cubed is actually 100 times 100, which is 10,000 times 100, right? And then similarly with 1,000 cubed, that's 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000. And then if you go directly between these units, let's just go from a smaller one to a larger one. I'm going to divide by 10 cubed over here. I'm going to divide by 100 cubed over here. And I'm going to divide by 1,000 cubed on this side, right? You can always just multiply these steps and repeat it. Go from divide by 10 cubed, then divide by 100 cubed. Okay, and you can type it in on the calculator exactly as you see it. Okay, if I go all the way from that to that, then I divide by 1 million cubed. Okay, and if I go all the way on this side from that to that, then I'm going to multiply by 1 million cubed. Okay, so this is very important, and now we'll look at a few examples, right? Now, what if I wanted you to give me 1 meter cubed, and I ask you to convert 1 cubic meter to centimeters cubed, right? Maybe I want that. Okay, so let's say 1 cubic meter, you know 1 meter cubed is actually equal to 1 meter multiplied by 1 meter multiplied by 1 meter. Now you have to tell me how many centimeters are in 1 meter. Well, I take it you know that in 1 meter there are 100 centimeters, and in that meter there's still 100 centimeters, and in this one there's also 100 centimeters. Okay, now if you multiply 100 times 100 times 100 times 100 is 10,000, and 10,000 times 10 is 100,000 times another 10 gives us 1 million. So if I multiply these three numbers together, which you can also use your calculator for, 100 times 100 times 100, that gives me 1 million, right? And centimeter times centimeter times centimeter gives me centimeters cubed, right? So that's an important thing to note as well. So let us go on to a few examples.